Previously in the garage, we dropped this V6 out of my old 2007 Mustang, and we talked about our plans to put a Coyote in it. If you haven't seen those two videos yet, I recommend going back and watching them. I'll put a link in the description or up at the top. Okay, so it's quite a while later, and we've got the engine out of my garage and into Ugly Paul's garage, and we threw it up on a stand so we can work on it. There's a number of things we want to do to this engine before it can even go in the car. So we're starting by just undressing it, getting all the belts, tensioners, electrical, and right now you can see the rad hoses off of it. Definitely have a bucket or a drain pan handy to catch any coolant that comes out.
There it goes. That's one. These guys are about the easiest things you can take off. Okay, and you gotta take the whole thing off. Like that. Like that. And this should come off. But it doesn't want to. There! Okay. Just in case we need to take it off. We're gonna have to take that off anyway, right?
Yeah, that's... Was that the thermostat?
Yes. Might want to take this whole thing off with the thermostat. It might be easier.
Why not?
Like that. Come on, it's got to come off somewhere. There we go. Wow, is that tight in there? I have to take that. Oh yeah. These don't just come off. Okay.
There it goes.
Got it. And they will. Okay, how do we hold the engine? That's going to be another thing here too now. Okay, I'm going to push this way. You try and hold it somehow. Not going, huh? No. Yep. There she goes. There she goes.
Probably.
That'll be alright. Ta-da! And put the cooler on the washer. No, I can't put it on the... No. I have to put it on the bolt. You are correct. It's the only way to do it. Okay, this is where we need 5 hands.
It actually took us about an hour to remove this balancer, and that's because the center pin on the puller was bent, so it wouldn't stay seated on the bolt in the middle. So it would slip off and the jaws would come loose and the whole thing would just keep falling apart. But through the magic of video and me editing out all the trial and error and cursing and swearing, you don't have to watch all that, and we can just skip ahead to the part where we get the thing off.
That's slowly coming. There. I don't know why those are so. There we go. Lovely. And still I found. Held on. There. Holy mackerel. There we go. Alrighty. La. Wow. That was deep for different. That's for sound, believe it or not. Because the injectors make a lot of noise.
Really?
Yep. Believe it or not, that's what it's for. So what I do is you got to squeeze the white part down. Okay, so you got to grab the white part, squeeze it down, and then I just use like this. I squeeze this, right? Actually, these got to come up just a little bit, like that. They got to be even with the end here. And then you squeeze that, and then just use the screwdriver to pry it up out of there. I'm gonna go get the tools.
A lot of the veteran gearheads out there who've done a lot of work on cars are going to be pretty bored by this, I'm guessing. But they're not who this series is really meant for. This is more of a beginner-friendly series. So I'm showing a lot of the mundane stuff that most other YouTube channels would probably just edit out to give you a sense of what really goes into a project like this. I really wanted to give you a sense of what it's like actually doing the work rather than what it looks like when you're finished. And like I said in the first video, this is the guide that I wish I had. And when I was researching this project, a lot of the videos I found were just some guy just talking and throwing a bunch of information at you. And they'll talk about like the bigger and more important parts of the project, but it's often either it's not in order or there's no real context to it. And I get it. I get why they do that. It's because A, they're assuming you know your stuff, and B, boring videos don't really get that many views. But I'm a beginner, and I think there's a lot of beginners out there who want to do this stuff, but don't really know how to approach it as like a whole project. So that's what this is. This is more education than entertainment. So if you don't need to see this sort of thing, feel free to skip ahead. But for the rest of us who aren't so experienced, this is more like a video game walkthrough, like a engine swap let's play, than just like a glossing over of the project or reality TV, something slick just for entertainment. I'm really trying to document like every nut and bolt here, because like 90% of a car project is going to be you trying to figure something out or struggling to get a bolt off, and maybe like 2 to 5% might be actually putting the engine in the car and actually starting it up. The kind of stuff that makes for good YouTube material.
That guy, now it can come out. Okay. There we go. Have to hear that click. There we go. Okay. And I got to disconnect this guy. I'm going to figure out how to do it. Yes, that's how it comes out like that. That has to be squeezed right there. I got one bolt to pull out, looks like a 10 mil. Oh, there she goes. There. And the harness, she is out. Okay. Some kind of vacuum line. Oh. That's to operate the IMRAC. Intake manifold. Intake manifold. Oh man, IMRC. Intake manifolds.
Whatever.
Oh God. Yeah, it's for these solenoids anyway. They have plates inside in the manifold. That's what they have.
Okay.
It's called the IMRAC, Intake Manifold Runner Control. That's it. That's what it is. Okay.
Did I miss one?
Oh, no.
Crap, that's tight.
Just pop them off with the...
It wouldn't move it.
Wouldn't move it?
Wasn't moving it. This one's tight.
I know they're a bit of a pain to get off, but they do come off. Nice and careful. Don't pry on those things. Try not to pry on the gasket either. That's why I'm not putting it in too far. Because the gasket is reusable.
It's like opening a laptop. You just got to wedge it everywhere you can before it.
Ah, there we go. Just got these front ones. There we go. Whew. Good. Let's see, gasket's still in good shape. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, cans are in good shape, I'd say. The boot decided to stay in there. I don't know, maybe this guy never changed his spark plugs, I don't know.
Here's a little bit closer view of the coil boot that got stuck in there. It looks like this cylinder had the same problem.
Obviously overheated or something. The silicone broke down somehow.
Well, that's not good.
No, I don't mean the engine overheated, I mean the silicone overheated. This one's actually looser than the last time. Maybe it'll be easier to get out, I don't know. And it is. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Outside of the fact that it's very worn out, this guy's had a lot of miles on these plugs.
Yeah. Hasn't been recapped though.
No, he probably never changed the spark plugs on this thing. Not very well serviced, I guess. I suggest maybe putting in a colder set of plugs than normal. Well, you don't really need to. You could probably go with the normal ones because you're not doing any really high modifications on it. So colder plugs will transfer heat to the head from the plug itself. It will transfer heat faster to the head than hotter plugs. The hotter plugs stay hotter. So if you modify the engine and make the combustion even hotter, the spark plugs will get too hot and they'll be a source of pre-ignition. I'm not going to take those out. I'm going to vacuum in there first. Might be a little bit of debris in there. That plug was way too far gapped. He was probably only getting partial ignition at best. Poor gas mileage, poor power.
I wonder if that's why he parted out the truck.
Now see, that one looks better than the other one, but the gap is still way too big. But that middle electrode there down at the bottom, that's way worn out. There's no ridge on there. It looks like a ridge, but you can't feel it with your fingernail. So I would say there's no ridge. Those are in good shape.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Which means he probably did the right oil changes. Yeah, be interesting to see once we pop off the caps here.
The bearings.
If the bearings are in good shape, that'll be the telltale. Other than that, it's pretty clean. I mean, you're going to get some varnish like this. This is all varnish from oil, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get that. But I don't see a lot of crap built up in there, so I'm thinking, yeah, it's not too bad. It sticks all over. It sticks right here. These four things and these two. That's where it's sticking. It's not the gasket. You got to try enough to peel those off. Like that. See, those are still stuck. Alright. That's okay. We'll
The
get it
valve
back
cover
on.
came apart.
That's alright.
It's really
Whoa,
stuck
no
on
wonder.
there.
Holy mackerel. Oh, okay, well,
You mean,
We'll
like
deal with that in a
pliers or
minute.
something?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Your dipstick thing. What the hell?
A dipstick tube came out?
Yeah. Huh, that's unusual.
Did the valve cover pulled it off?
No. No, it doesn't touch it, it's just loose. I've seen such a thing. I've never seen these come off like this.
Pushing against the cam cap.
There we go. There we go. Wow. There's the torque.
So the dipstick tube is attached to the valve cover.
Yep. There are pieces of plastic in there. I see a piece in there.
And it came apart.
Yep. There it goes. It just fell in. Yeah, it dropped down in there. We're gonna have to go get it. Yeah, when we turn it over. Yep. So that must have come apart somehow. So that piece here is stuck in there.
Well, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another pro tip for you if you're working on a project like this. It's good to have a number of plastic Ziploc bags handy so you can collect the bolts and you can label the bags, and that way you know where they go when you're putting the whole thing together. Otherwise, if you don't keep things organized, you're going to have a hard time finding all your parts when you start to reassemble everything.
Don't look too bad in there.
Up to
Let me see, it was on this side here. Comes in through here somewhere. It's probably this.
So it's stuck in that channel.
It could be.
Can we blow it out?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so this video is starting to get a bit long. I think we're going to cut it off here for now. On the next episode of Ugly Paul's Garage, we'll start working on putting the Mustang cams in, replacing the timing chains and tensioners, and retiming the engine. But that is it for now. Thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the series so far. And please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Or don't. We won't judge you. And until next time, stay ugly, my friends.